What's up, YouTube? What up, friends and fam? Today I just wanted to touch base with you on a food hack that I just thought of in my own brain, and it's how to lose weight, how to consistently stay at a certain weight where you want to attain the energy levels, the confidence, how you look, how you feel, you know, the amount of stuff you can do. You can go hiking, you can do this and do that, but we can't do these things unless we're in a certain shape and unless we're at a certain weight, because if we're too heavy and we try to go hiking with everybody else that's in shape and at a good weight, we ain't gonna be able to do these things. So here's my hack, man. Start looking at your diet as you being an alcoholic and you cannot eat like everybody else, or else it's considered a relapse. Like, now that's what I'm thinking of, overeating or indulging in my eating. I'm thinking of it as a relapse now, because it really is. Like, food for a lot of people, myself included, it's a drug, man. You know what I mean? Like, I quit drinking a little bit over 2 years ago, and quit drinking, quit smoking. When I first quit, my diet was on point. That was what helped me get through these things. Had a little slip up this year. I had a couple slip-ups within the last 2.5 years, but it's time we do this consistently. And I'm looking at that realization as day one of my food intake, like my food sobriety, if you want to call it. Like, this is like a whole different way of looking at it, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty fucking serious about not having a sip of beer, a sip of alcohol. If I have a sip of alcohol, a sip of beer, if I have one cigarette, it could turn into a full out episode where I'm fucking drinking all the time. Like, that's what alcoholism is. Like, you can be sober for 5 years, but then all of a sudden, if you have a sip of alcohol, then it's okay to have one more. Then all of a sudden you're having fucking 12 a night, and then all of a sudden you're drinking and driving, and all of a sudden you're getting in fucking trouble again, or all of a sudden you're in rehab again. So I'm starting to look at that the same way as food. You know what I mean? Like, the food intake in a proper manner where I'm creating the body that I want to maintain. It's no more of this bullshit like, oh, I'm gonna cut and then look good for a little bit and then binge for a little bit because I'm gonna forget about this or that. Nah, man, it's about sobriety, man. Just like with alcohol, fuck that shit. So I just wanted to touch base about that because I've never heard that before. I've never really thought of that before. And like, it brings up into the holidays. Like, what do you do during the holidays? You have to really monitor yourself. Maybe you give yourself a day or two to not binge eat, but kind of something you wouldn't normally do. I think it's acceptable. Like, look at it as one cheat day. But even that, I'm debating about doing that or not, because like I said, if I have one sip of beer, it could turn out to me having beer every fucking night for the next 1.5 years and my life going to shambles. So comment down below what you think about that. It's okay to have one cheat day for somebody like me or you that is obsessed with food, or not, man. Like, and it's okay if we're not. It's just okay. Like, fuck what everybody else says. We're gonna look great. We're gonna feel great. If within the first year or something of doing this, we can't fucking eat with the boys and the family during Christmas time, you know what I mean? You just gotta pack the fucking pre-made meal. Like, it is what it is. But that being said, like, when you are at a family event, maybe you can, not be using the MyFitnessPal app to track all your calories, but instead visualize what you're gonna have first. Maybe bring food for everybody that's fucking healthy, so that way you can just stick to a plate of that instead of indulging in everything else that everybody else is eating. I think that's your answer right there, or my answer right there, is bringing the food that you want to eat, but bring enough for everybody, so it's not like you're a weirdo bringing a fucking meal prep. And just sticking to that. Like, stay away from the desserts, stay away from all the shit that might trigger another fucking relapse of the food, because this weekend I pretty much had a relapse on the food that we're talking about, because me and Rachel went away for New Hampshire, and I just kind of let myself go, like, do my thing for a couple days, and that's fucking crazy to me, because like I said, I can just be back on that route, like not giving a fuck about what I eat. Still going to the gym, but looking like shit, feeling lower energies, all the above, man. Everything I don't want to be. Like, we don't want to look that way anymore. We're in 2021. We have all the supplements, all the answers right at our fucking smartphone. Like, we don't need to be fat, and we don't need to be feeling low energy because of the food we're eating. Like, we just don't need to live that way anymore, guys. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. Like, yesterday was day one because I realized that. And then also, I've been tracking my calories for the last couple weeks because if you guys have been following me, I was up to like 225, and I was like, fucking, enough is enough. So started cutting back. Been eating under 2,000 calories a day. But then I've noticed I haven't been logging everything into my MyFitnessPal. And I have come to like a standstill at like 193, where I haven't been able to drop past 193. And it's not because of my set goals for calories that I can't fucking do. It's because I'm eating over those set goals. You know what I mean? Like, right now I'm at a set goal of 1,800 calories, 1,850 calories a day, which isn't that much. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I want to get to that level so then I can eat 2,500 calories per day and be fucking jacked and probably maintain 180. But for now, since I'm bigger, I have to cut more so I can get down to the weight that I want to be at, and then build the muscle back and keep the cardio up. But what I was doing is, so like a piece of gum, for example, I'm starting to log a piece of gum because I chew a lot of fucking gum, because that's what I did when I quit cigarettes. I started chewing gum. But then I've noticed that every 2 pieces of gum is 5 calories. Doesn't sound like much, but that shit adds up if you're doing that. Like, sometimes I'll just put 4 pieces in my mouth at a time, and sometimes I'll just be always getting new pieces of gum just because it's addicting. And that shit adds up, dude, believe it or not. Even though it's only 5 calories for 2 pieces, but if you're on a tight caloric deficit like I am, where literally, like, I've done this before, and literally, like, say my goal is 2,000 calories a day. If I eat 2,100 calories a day or 2,050 calories a day, you see a difference, man. Like, it's harder to lose that little 1 pound or 3 pounds that you're trying to lose. In my case, it's an extra 15 pounds I'm trying to lose. So right now, it's really essential to quit that shit. Anything I have put in my body, I'm logging it, bottom line. Seems kind of intense, but you know, this is the life. Like, when you got a addiction to food, like I do, then you gotta log this shit, man. And you want to look a certain way and achieve a certain amount of energy. Like, there's no way around it, guys. Like, sorry to say, but what society tries to tell you, like, you don't need to log it and this and that, like, if you're anything like me, yeah, you do. Most of the people that say, like, you don't need to log it, they probably have a faster metabolism and never have really struggled with weight in their life. Which I definitely have. I've always struggled with being chubby. There was a point in my life I started definitely getting fat, and then I learned how to eat less. Like, it's just fucking common sense. And it's funny, ever since I've been eating less and been more focused on getting protein, more fiber, less sugar, all that, I've gotten stronger in the gym. Like, I'm stronger in the gym now than I was at 225, because, you know, like I said, I didn't have no goal being at 225, you know what I mean? I was just there because I was eating what I wanted to eat. So it didn't add any strength to my life, you know what I mean? Like, I look like a big dude, but I can literally lift more now than I did when I was 225. You know, my energy's right. My energy's getting to that point where it's equal, you know, it's getting to the healthy level where it's at a good level. And I was listening to a podcast today, or a YouTuber. His name is More Plates, More Dates. He's pretty interesting stuff. And he was talking about how some Instagram influencers, when they bulk, they don't put on a lot of like fat, as if like other guys bulk, they put on fat along with their bulk. And then he mentioned something like they don't look that different. They might look bigger, but their muscles just get bigger. number one, that's because they're doing it right. You know what I mean? They're doing their bulk right. They know how to finagle the macronutrients, where they have to eat this amount of protein, this amount of fat, this amount of carbohydrates. So number one, they're doing it right. He also mentioned something that's interesting to me, that it's like the mind-gut relationship. And I know what he means, because when, say I'm 225 versus when I'm 175, my gut works better when I'm 175, when I feel like it has a lot to do with eating less, and the food that you do eat, you digest it good, so then your body's happy. Like, you want to get to the point where you're like actually hungry every time you're eating, so your saliva's breaking that stuff down. Like, it's a good mind-body connection. That's the sense I get, is like one of the most important things, besides the caloric deficit and besides activity and calories burned, that I took away from that video, that these guys almost naturally have, that you can eat something and have your gut health is your mind health is connected, so they digest at a good level, and it knows where to place itself on the body. So how you can fix that if you don't have that in your mind, like the mind gut health, is you can visualize every time you eat. Say if you want to look more muscular, want to have a six-pack, want to have bigger biceps or bigger legs, imagine every time you're eating that chicken or rice or broccoli, it's going to those muscles, and you're imagining what you look like afterwards. So then it creates some sort of excitement and pleasure out of eating these things, instead of, if you don't visualize how your body's going to look after this, then you're visualizing all the pain that's associated with it. So it's like a big visual game, man. Like, achieving the body that you want, achieving the business that you want, anything in life that you want, it's a big visual game. Like, what are you visualizing? If you keep visualizing the opposite of what you really want, you're never going to achieve your goals. No matter how fucking hard you push it, like, you won't really achieve your goals to the fullest. You know what I mean? That's like somebody trying to step on stage for the first time on Olympia, or some amateur Olympia competition. Somebody eating the right stuff, but they're not visualizing themselves at their fullest potential, versus somebody that's doing the same exact thing. They have the visualization that, they look the best, they look really good in their mind. So I feel like they're gonna look better because they're using the power of the mind. The mind's a powerful thing, man. Like, you can't knock that one off. So it's about visualization, man. You got to visualize things going the right way, and that's what it is. That's my 2 cents on it. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you like the content. Be back for more videos, and I love you guys. Peace.